Hi, welcome to the channel. In today's video we are looking at a $14.99 backpack from Lidl. It's their Rocktrail 30 litre hiking rucksack. I picked this up on the weekend. It is currently in store as of 10th of May 2023. So I wanted to get this video up as quickly as possible, so if you were looking at grabbing one you'd be able to see roughly what it's like. So I'm going to go through the basic specs, my first impressions, and I will say that I've already taken it for a couple of reasonably decent walks. So I walked just over 6 miles to work with it yesterday and I walked over 6 miles back. And on the way back we had an absolutely biblical thunderstorm with hail, thunder, lightning and torrential rain. So I think I've given it a pretty good test. On the way into work I had it packed pretty heavy. I had several litres of water, had a couple of big books in there as well and some clothes and stuff. So I got a feel for how it carries, and it does carry really well given the price point. So we'll go through just the basic features first, give you a bit of a show of the bag, and then I'll sort of talk about how it felt to carry and stuff. So despite it being a real budget bag, and it's on for $14.99, but actually I use a little app on my phone which gave me a further 20% off with a special offer. So it actually only cost me $11.99. So bear that in mind when I talk through some of the features here. So it's got YKK zips, which won't feature in a lot of bags at this price point. You've got a pocket on the front that you can put small bits of pieces in. That's got a nice front zipper. You've also got a little zip here, and that has a little netting and 2 points where you hook onto the bag. So that's for a helmet. Obviously, if you don't use a helmet, you could just hook those two things up and use it for carrying bits and pieces. You could stick a tarp in there if it was wet to dry off when you walk and stuff, or just use bits of light things of clothes and stuff in there if you wanted to. It has got a rain cover, Velcro at the bottom. That's attached, but you can take it off if you want to completely remove it. So if you were going hiking in the summer, absolutely no rain force, you can take that out and it just makes a little bit more space in the bottom pocket. So you can tell which way is the right way for this because it is quite hard to see, but there's a little reflective Rocktrail logo on there. And I obviously tested it out yesterday in some really, really heavy rain, and the waterproof cover is waterproof. But like any backpack, don't trust a waterproof cover because the waterproof cover is going to go up over the front of the bag. It's not going to go in the back of the bag. So when the rain's hitting your head, pouring down the back of your neck, pouring down your back, it's going to be soaking into the bag. And I did find the water had pooled up a lot in the bottom of it. So if you're going to use this bag like you would any other, make sure you're using dry bags for anything valuable, anything you really want to keep dry inside your bag. Because the waterproof cover will definitely help keep the front of the bag dry, but it's not going to help when water's pouring in through the back. So other features, it's got two side pockets for bottles, and they have an additional strap as well. So you can hook longer things into there and then go into the pockets. But the pockets are pretty deep. I had an 800ml bottle in there without any problems. I just topped this around the very top of it just to give it extra security. And the one on the other side is absolutely identical. It also has fixing points for walking poles, trekking poles. So it's got 3 hoops for them going down, and it's got a top tie point as well, so you can get 2 trekking poles up that side. It does have a zipped bottom pocket, and obviously if you remove the rain cover you're going to have more space in there, but it's a decent sized pocket. I've experimented with it. I can get my sleep mat and a sleep pillow in there and a small microfiber towel as well without too many problems. And the last zip then is for the main compartment. So that's quite a generous zip, goes quite a long way down the bag, so you can open it up quite a lot. And then inside the bag you do have a room for a hydration sack and a hanging point for that, and the hydration tube for your drink out will go through the centre of the bag and then over whichever shoulder you fancy. So it is a fully spec bag, and it does have Lidl traditional 3-year warranty as well. So keep the receipt, look after the bag. If there's any manufacturing faults, you can take the bag back with the receipt. And I found in the past Lidl are pretty good at honouring that 3-year guarantee. So really, for $14.99, if you can get the 20% off, it's $11.99. I think this is an absolute bargain. So obviously you don't really have any back structure to the bag. It has 2 decent padded parts, but that helps to keep the weight down. So it only weighs 550 grams, which for a 30 litre bag is not too bad at all. So on the straps of the bag, you've got 2 little waterproof points here. I use these all the time on bags. With all of my bags, I keep permanently attached a carabiner on each one, and I can have my drinks bottle or my GoPro off its little tripod off of it and stuff. Really, really helpful. It has got a top strap, and that's got a built-in whistle as well. So a lot of bags feature that. It's a nice little feature, just a little bit of extra safety there if you get lost or anything. And it has got a pretty decent, reasonably padded hip belt, and that is fully adjustable as well. Plenty of adjustment for someone of my size, and for someone of most sizes, there's a lot of strap there. And these straps are reasonably well controlled by these little strap points as well, so they are there to cut off some of the slack so you don't get too much dangling down. And the right hand side does have a hip pocket. It's not the most generous of hip pockets. When it's around you, it's pretty compressed, but I found I can get my car keys, probably get a thin bar in there of food of some description, and I got my wireless headphones in there as well, just a little case. So it did prove quite useful, and actually proved pretty water resistant as well, because I didn't bother emptying that pocket when it started chucking it down. So I just kept my stuff in there, and my headphones were absolutely fine. A little bit damp, but sometimes these can absolutely fill up with water, particularly in the conditions that I was out in. So it is a pretty fully featured bag. You know, it's even got extra things like the netting for a helmet and stuff. The only thing it doesn't have is any kind of lid pocket, because it's not a lidded kind of bag. So you are sort of stuck with the main two compartments. But I've messed about with it. I've put in a lightweight camping setup, so I had a decent sized Unigear sleep mat, a decent sized Nemo Philo pillow, a lightweight summer sleeping bag, or my normal red bag of kit, which is like, you know, your first aid, toiletries, that kind of stuff, lamp, batteries, various bits and pieces, and a waterproof jacket and stuff, all fitted in fine with my outdoor equipment, helium bivvy in there as well, and a bit of additional space. I could have chosen to put in different layers, or I could have chosen to put in a cooking system, something like that. So there is enough space for a lightweight camp, and because it only weighs 550 grams, it's not going to take up too much weight, just the bag itself. So using the bag, I took it for a 6.4 mile walk to work yesterday morning. Had the bag pretty fully loaded, a couple of really heavy books in there, clothes, a couple of cans of soft drink, I was going to work, and a decent 800ml bottle of water and stuff. So a fair bit of weight, and I really didn't notice the bag at all. Because the bag is so light in itself, the weight kind of disappeared really. It was perfectly comfortable to carry. Didn't have any complaints with the bag at all getting to work. On the way home, it was lighter because I'd taken the books out and I'd obviously drunk the drinks and stuff. But it was absolutely fine. So the waterproof cover is absolutely waterproof, but just bear in mind, obviously, do take dry baths because a lot of water is going to get in via the back. And I had a bit of water ingress through this point at the top there where the water was pouring down the back of my hood. And I had water ingress at the bottom where it was pouring down my back and hitting the bottom here. So waterproof covers, a very useful feature to have on a bag just to sort of keep the worst of the rain off, or light showers. But any heavy torrential or persistent rain, do make sure you're putting stuff in dry bags. So as you know, I do use Lidl products quite a bit on my camping. I got a couple of little tents and other bits and pieces like thermal layers, walk-in trousers, that kind of stuff. So I've got every faith this bag is going to be another good purchase, especially for $11.99. Things like the YKK zips just help a lot, I think, with this kind of budget stuff. They do give you a bit of confidence, because sometimes the cheaper zips, they are the ones that get stuck and are all good to use, or they start to fail. So I'm hoping that this will see me through a good few years of use. It's going to be a lightweight pack I'm going to use just out and about. I've got a drone now, so my smaller bags aren't quite big enough to take my camera gear into drone. So if I'm just going for a hike, I might well use this bag most of the time. And I'm going to do a summer wild camp with it as well, once the weather warms up enough to actually take a summer sleeping bag out. So if you want to catch up with that and you want to see it in use in future, do subscribe to the channel. At the same time as buying this, I did buy an ultralight 810 gram, really big rectangular shaped sleeping bag. That folds down really small, packs down small, and is quite light, 810 grams. So I'm going to be using that along with this in summer. So I'm going to do a separate video on that sleeping bag just to show you around that, because that is in stores currently, and it is something they might bring out later in the summer as well. So yeah, hope the video has been helpful if you've been looking at this Rocktrail stuff. Obviously, if you've got any Rocktrail stuff and you recommend it, or you've got bad experiences with it, do let me know in the comments, and I will see you in future videos when we're taking this out and about.